I wanted to share something with you that happened to me a long time ago. So, when I was 18, I was in crisis and I realized that I did not want to be gay. I didn't know how to change it, I had no clue. And so, what I had done is I went to see a therapist and not to try to change anything, but just to figure out, am I gay? Am I bi? What's going on with me? And so when I saw her, the very first thing she says after I told her I was gay is that she says, you can change this, right? I didn't even ask her about it. She just volunteered that information to me. And so then I asked her more about it. So what she had said during our session is, I will give you the phone number and the address as to where you need to go. And they could probably tell you a little bit more about how this works. So I said, okay, I'm all in. Back then, I hated myself and I would have done anything to change it. So a few weeks later, I went to this place. It was actually in somebody's home. And ironically, the location was in an area where gay people actually secretly went to go meet. Now, keep in mind, this was the 1980s, the late 80s. And this is just what gay people did. So anyway, I went to this place, walked in, and have you ever had this before? I mean, this is probably more females who would experience this than men, where you realize you've just walked into the lion's den. So again, I'm a 18-year-old male, walked into this home, and there was 10 men, probably 40 or older, who were there with their wives, and I realized that I am lunch, and they're just like waiting to try to, I don't know, somehow connect with me. So anyway, in this house, the way it was set up, I was in the dining room area. There was a little area where there was some food there, and I was standing in front of it. There was a man giving a speech in the living room area. All these men there were with their wives. And I noticed one by one, these men would get up to go get some food, but they kept trying to brush up against me. One guy actually was so bold as to come up behind me when I wasn't paying attention, and he actually pressed himself up against me to try to reach for some food, and that freaked me the fuck out. So I realized that as this man is giving his speech, talking about how he's been touched by the blood of Christ and all of a sudden he's no longer gay, that this was complete bullshit. All these men were still gay, every single one of them. But it was just weird how these guys were trying to do whatever they could just to touch me. Anyway, so what I realized that I needed to get out of there. So when I felt like they weren't paying attention, I ran out the back. And I remember leaving there feeling so angry. And I don't remember why I was angry. I don't know if it's because I realized that this stuff doesn't work, or if it's because I was still hating myself, or because maybe I felt like I was betrayed somehow by that therapist. I don't know. But I remember leaving there angry. So what the decision that I made as I'm leaving there was that I'm coming out. I'm going to come out as gay because that's what I thought it was. But yeah, that I was coming out as gay. And if you want to be part of my life, great. If this kind of thing freaked you out, then fuck off. I just didn't care anymore. I was just done trying to live my life for somebody else. So the first thing I did is I called my cousin. Now my cousin happens to be a Marian sister, a nun. And she is probably one of the most wonderful people I've ever been around. She's a fun person. So called her up, said, I need to talk to you, very important. And it was probably a week or maybe 2 weeks later is when I ended up showing up to the convent. And I could tell that she could tell that I was in crisis. And so we went into a private room, and I said, I have something I need to tell you. And she said, oh no, hold on. let me get this door shut. And she's getting everything ready, almost as though like there was going to be like a storm just getting ready to brew, and I'm about ready to explode. And so I told her, but it's the way I told her was just kind of funny. I told her in the 1980s way. And what I mean by that is that I just said, her name is Sister Maria. And I said, Sister Maria, I have something I need to tell you. And then I said, I'm gay. And then I busted out crying. And in my mind, what she's supposed to do in that moment is console me. But what she did instead is she busted out laughing. So here I'm crying my head off, and she's laughing, and I got upset. And okay, backtrack a little bit. But anyway, I think that's how they used to come out the 1980s way. That you cry first, and then to let people know that you're sorry that you're gay, which is so stupid. But anyway, back to what I was saying. She starts laughing. And I asked her, I said, why are you making fun of me? And she said, I'm not making fun of you. She said, Uriel, I have been waiting for this conversation since you were 8 years old. She said, I always knew you're different. I watched how you play with your friends, and I watched how you would prefer to play with the little girls. And so she said, I pretty much figured, yeah, he's gay. So she said that she'd been waiting for this, for her and I to have this conversation. So after I told her, I realized that it's okay for me to be who I am, because I'll never forget what she said to me. She said that take this as a gift from God, because you have been given the ability to see things from a male point of view and a female point of view. So your perspective is not like this, it's like this. So much broader perspective. So she said it's a gift. And from that point on, at least back then, I felt like I needed it. I needed some sort of validation to let me know that I was okay. So at 18, yes, I needed it. Don't need it so much anymore, but at 18, yes, I needed it. So I started telling people, and I guess I was very blessed because I really didn't have too many people get upset about it. I did have some family members that didn't seem to really get it. I had a sister who, God bless her, she passed away a couple years ago, who she struggled with it, and that's okay. Ironically, she has a child who's also gay too. But yeah, she struggled with it. And again, you know, it bothered me a little bit, but you know, I think she did the best that she could with what she knew. So anyway, the gist is, I just thought about that story and I wanted to share it with you. If you yourself, or if you know anyone who is struggling with their sexuality, I suppose maybe come see me. If there's anything I can do to help you, I will help you. If I think you need probably therapy, I have a couple therapists that are wonderful, and I think they would take really good care of you. But that's no way to be. You don't want to be the kind of person who's struggling. And so the greatest gift that I got was, how do I say this? Support? We'll say that. Support that I got from people. And also just for me to have learned how to love the person that I am. Because I will say this, I truly love myself, and it took me a while for me to get here. And if once I pass and I talk to my maker and he says you can come back as a different person, first thing I'm gonna say is, can I come back as a gay man again? Because I have had a fantastic time. And I think gay people are just by nature super fabulous. So anyway, just want to share this with you. My name is Uriel Mesa, and I'm with KTSLifeCoaching.com. Thank you for listening.